Welcome back to Sip and Talk.
Another week, another dollar.
Or in my case, another week, another grocery store fiasco.
Ooh, what happened this time? Did you knock over a pyramid of those little yogurt cups again?
Oh, even better. My cart went rogue.
A rogue shopping cart. That sounds dangerous.
It was. I was reaching for this, giant watermelon.
Oh, no.
And the cart just took off. It slammed right into a display of those massive protein powder tubs. You know, the ones that look like they could fuel a small army.
I can picture it now.
Protein powder everywhere. It was like a blizzard hit a supplement aisle.
I bet. So are you banned from that grocery store now?
Not yet, but I'm sure they're considering it.
Yeah.
Speaking of wild situations, have you seen that thing about Trump sending everyone $5,000 checks? The Dogecoin dividend?
Yeah. Is that even real? I mean, last I checked, the national debt was somewhere in the trillions.
36 trillion to be exact.
Right. Which is like what, $100,000 per person?
106,000.
Crazy. And they want to add to that by just handing out checks.
Well, the idea is that Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has supposedly saved the taxpayers billions of dollars.
DOGE. Wait, like the meme dog?
Yep, the one and only. So the proposal is to give 20% of those supposed savings back to the people as these $5,000 checks.
Okay, I'm already skeptical. Didn't they mess up that whole immigration contract thing a while back?
You mean when they bragged about saving $8 billion by canceling it, and then it turned out to be a decimal point error?
Yeah, they ended up saving like 8 million, not billion. That doesn't exactly inspire confidence in their math skills or their ability to save billions of dollars.
It's definitely a head-scratcher. So there's this investor, James Fishback, who's been on a media blitz promoting the Doge dividend. He even got into a pretty heated debate with a CNN anchor about it.
Oh, I gotta see this. Was it a full-on shouting match? Did anyone storm off the set?
Close. The anchor kept pointing out the whole $36 trillion national debt thing and how giving everyone $5,000 wouldn't exactly help the situation.
Makes sense. It's like throwing a party when you're already drowning in credit card debt.
Exactly. But Fishback kept arguing that this Doge dividend would actually incentivize people to report government waste, which would then lead to even more savings in the long run.
So we just throw money at the problem and hope people magically become more responsible with tax dollars?
Well, that's kind of what he was suggesting. The CNN anchor compared it to a Ponzi scheme.
Ouch. That's gotta sting.
She even threatened to mute him at one point because he kept interrupting.
Yikes. Sounds like someone needs a lesson in debate etiquette. So are we actually going to get these Doge checks?
Honestly, who knows? It feels more like a publicity stunt than a real policy proposal. And even if it did happen, I'd be more worried about the long-term economic consequences than excited about a $5,000 windfall.
Totally agree. Short-term gains rarely lead to long-term stability. Speaking of stability, let's talk about someone who probably isn't losing sleep over a few $1 billion here or there. Warren Buffett.
Ah, yes, the Oracle of Omaha. What's he up to these days?
Well, it seems like he's been on a selling spree, unloading a bunch of his stocks. He's currently sitting on a record $325 billion in cash.
$325 billion. That's like more money than some countries have.
I know, right? It's insane. Makes you wonder what he's planning. Is he about to make a massive investment? Or is he worried about the economy and hunkering down?
It's the $1 million question, or in this case, the $325 billion question.
I guess only time will tell.
In his 2025 shareholder letter, he did mention some economic headwinds.
Well, it seems like he's mainly concerned about just the sheer size of it, you know?
Yeah.
We're talking trillions of dollars in debt.
Trillions with a T.
Yeah, and it's not just the number itself, but it's like the potential consequences.
Right.
You know, a large national debt can lead to higher interest rates, which can then slow economic growth and make it harder for businesses to invest and create jobs.
So it's like when you rack up a huge credit card bill.
Exactly.
And then those interest charges start piling up. And suddenly you're stuck in this debt spiral.
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
Not a fun place to be.
Oh.
And Buffett seems to be worried that the U.S. is heading down a similar path.
Oh, really?
He's pointed out that the government's current spending habits are unsustainable and that we need to get our financial house in order before things spiral out of control.
Okay, so it sounds like he's not just being cautious.
Right.
He's sending a warning shot.
Yeah, he's like waving a red flag.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not one to panic.
Right.
But even I'm starting to get a little nervous.
I hear you.
But also said he still has faith in America's long-term potential. So maybe he's just playing it safe for now.
Yeah, makes sense. He's probably making a killing on low-risk government bonds while everyone else is panicking about the stock market. It's like he's sitting on a yacht sipping champagne while the rest of us are stuck in a leaky lifeboat.
Pretty much sums up Warren Buffett's life, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
let's remember that this is just one perspective, right?
Sure.
And there are definitely other factors at play here. Like,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
what about that whole AI boom that's happening?
Oh,
That's got to be impacting the market in some way.
Totally. The rise of AI is a whole other beast, and it's definitely shaking things up.
Okay, so maybe the AI revolution will come in and save the day
We can hope.
before the deficit tapeworm devours everything in its path.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
But before we get too carried away with the AI fantasies,
Okay.
let's take a closer look at what's really going on in that space.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for our next segment, though.
All right, so stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. Have you been following all the AI news lately?
Oh, absolutely. It feels like AI went from a niche tech topic to dominating the headlines overnight, and it's definitely having a major impact on the stock market.
Like what happened with NVIDIA?
NVIDIA, the chip-making giant, saw their stock skyrocket as everyone piled into AI-related investments. They were like the poster child for the AI boom. But then this Chinese company, DeepSeek, came out of nowhere and dropped this crazy cheap AI model on the market.
And NVIDIA's stock took a nosedive. Like a $589 billion nosedive in a single day.
It was brutal. DeepSeek kind of came in like a wrecking ball, smashing those inflated tech valuations.
So is this the start of an AI price war? Is DeepSeek the David to Silicon Valley's Goliath?
Possibly. It's definitely shaken things up. Some analysts are saying this is actually a good thing for AI adoption. Cheaper models mean more people can access the technology, which could lead to all sorts of innovation and productivity gains.
But others are worried about market instability, right? If AI companies are constantly undercutting each other, what happens to those sky-high valuations? Could we be heading for another tech bubble burst?
Yeah, some people are drawing parallels to the dot-com bubble. Remember when everyone was going crazy for internet stocks and then it all came crashing down?
Vaguely. I was too busy trying to figure out how to use dial-up internet back then.
The point is, the AI landscape is still evolving, and it's hard to predict what the long-term impacts will be. It's a high-risk, high-reward situation.
Maybe that's why Warren Buffett is sitting on all that cash, just waiting to see how it all plays out before making his move.
He's probably got his finger on the pulse, ready to pounce when the time is right.
You know, sometimes I get caught in these, like, late-night Google spirals.
Oh, yeah.
And they just lead to more anxiety, you know?
I've been there.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Let me guess, is it the AI takeover?
Well, that's definitely a contender.
What a time to be alive.
Seriously.
And just when you thought things couldn't get any weirder, have you heard about BigBear.ai?
That's the AI company that took a major hit in the stock market because of the U.S. defense budget cuts, right? Their stock plummeted like 25% in a week.
Yeah, it was rough. But the crazy part is they actually became a meme because of it. People were joking about how BigBear.ai was, well, acting like a big bear in the stock market, lumbering around and crushing everything.
Wait, seriously? People are making memes about a company's stock market woes.
Yep. It just goes to show you how unpredictable the market can be and how even bad news can turn into entertainment on social media.
It's like the whole world is one giant chaotic meme these days.
Pretty much. So, with DOGE dividends, Buffett's cash pile, AI going mainstream, and companies becoming memes, what are we supposed to make of all this?
Honestly, I have no idea. But it's definitely entertaining.
That's the spirit. You know, this whole AI thing makes me think about all those sci-fi movies we watched as kids. You know, the ones where robots become super intelligent and decide humans are kind of obsolete.
Oh, gosh. Don't even get me started. Sometimes when my smart speaker is taking a little too long to respond, I swear it's blotting world domination. Like, Alexa, play some relaxing jazz.
And she's all, I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. Busy, data, assimilating all human knowledge.
Right. And then cue the creepy robot uprising music.
Okay, now I'm a little freaked out too. But in all seriousness, it is kind of mind-blowing how quickly AI is developing. Like, what happens when it can do everything we can do but better and faster? What happens to jobs, to the economy, to us?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, some experts say AI will actually create more jobs than it eliminates. Like, it'll open up whole new industries and possibilities we haven't even thought of yet.
Right. But there are also those who are, well, a little more pessimistic. They're worried about mass unemployment, social unrest. You know, like, what happens when machines can do most of the jobs and people are left with, well, nothing to do?
It's fascinating and terrifying at the same time. I mean, imagine AI doctors who can diagnose you in seconds with perfect accuracy, or AI lawyers who never lose a case. What would we humans even do?
It's almost like we're stepping into a real-life science fiction movie. Except, we don't know the ending yet. And the choices we make now about how we develop and regulate AI, that's going to have huge consequences down the line.
That's why we got to stay informed, stay engaged. We can't just sit back and blindly trust that, big tech companies or governments are going to make the best choices for everyone.
100% agree. We have to be part of the conversation, make our voices heard, demand that AI is developed ethically and responsibly. It's our future, right?
Preach. Okay, enough doom and gloom for one day. Let's lighten things up a bit.
Yeah, I need a break from the robot apocalypse. Welcome back to Sip and Talk. So we just left off talking about Warren Buffett and his, cash fortress strategy.
Yeah, like he's building a bunker out of Benjamins.
Right. But, while he's over there stacking his cash, there's this whole other thing happening, AI.
Oh yeah, AI, it's like everywhere.
It really is.
It's like those chatbots that write those weird poems. Or like self-driving cars that still can't figure out a roundabout.
I know, right?
It's exciting and terrifying all at the same time.
So AI is like the hero and the villain of this story.
It really could go either way. It all depends on how we develop and use these technologies.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility. Right. That's why it's so important to stay informed and really understand what these changes could mean.
Okay, I'm with you. Knowledge is power.
Totally.
But speaking of power, what about the government? Surely they have some say in how all this AI stuff is developed and regulated, right?
Oh, absolutely. They play a huge role in shaping the future of AI, both here in the U.S. and internationally.
So we've got Buffett playing its safe AI, changing everything, a giant budget deficit, and the government trying to figure out how to handle this whole AI revolution.
It's a lot.
It is. It's making me wonder, is a market crash coming?
It's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
But predicting the market is like trying to predict which Kardashian is going to launch the next, weird beauty product.
Oh, gosh, good point.
It's impossible to know for sure.
Okay, so no doomsday prepping just yet.
Exactly.
But what should we be doing? Should we be, running for the hills or doubling down on our investments?
I think Buffett's approach is a good guide,
Okay.
He's not freaking out. He's staying informed, being cautious, looking for opportunities.
So he's playing 3D chess while the rest of us are over here with checkers.
Pretty much.
Right.
So yeah, don't make any rash decisions based on fear or hype. Do your research, diversify your investments.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And remember, the market goes up and down. There will be good times and bad times.
So ride the wave, but wear a life vest.
Exactly. And remember, knowledge is your best protection against all the craziness.
Right.
Stay informed, ask questions.
Okay, got it.
Good.
But wait, there's one more piece of the puzzle, right? Didn't we read something about iPhones?
Oh, you're right. There is one potential bright spot in all of this.
Okay, tell me.
The new budget-friendly iPhones with AI features.
Oh, yeah. Apple always knows how to tempt us with new gadgets.
Right. So they're releasing these iPhones that are packed with AI capabilities, but at a lower price.
Interesting.
They're targeting the middle market,
Yep.
Particularly in growing economies like China and India.
So they're making AI accessible to everyone, not just the people who can afford the fancy models.
Exactly. And it seems like the market is responding. Well, Apple stock has gone up since they made the announcement.
So maybe this is the boost the market needs.
It's possible. It shows that even when things are uncertain, innovation and smart business moves can create opportunities for growth.
Okay, so we've got Buffett being cautious.
Yeah.
AI changing the game, a massive budget deficit, and Apple trying to save the day with their affordable AI phones.
It's been a wild ride.
It really has. All right, so before we get to the final verdict, let's take a quick break to refresh our drinks.
Sounds good.
Be right back. Okay, we're back and ready to answer the big question.
Yeah.
Is Wall Street about to crash? I mean, we've talked about Buffett and his cautious moves and the whole AI explosion and the scary budget deficit.
A lot to consider.
So what's the verdict? Are we all doomed?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I mean, what should the average folks who aren't, billionaires or tech geniuses be doing?
I think Buffett's approach is a good one to look at,
Okay.
He's staying calm. He's staying informed.
So he's playing it smart.
Exactly.
But how do we apply that to our own lives?
Well, don't make any rash decisions based on, fear or hype.
Right.
Do your research, diversify your investments. And remember, the market goes up and down.
It's a roller coaster.
It is so. Just buckle up and enjoy the ride. Okay.
Well, folks, That's a wrap for our deep dive into the crazy world of finance.
It was a wild one.
It really was. I don't know about you, but I need a drink.
I could go for one, too.
But before we sign off, I wanted to give a shout out to our friends over at the Mickytolife YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, those guys are great.
They've got amazing travel vlogs, whiskey reviews, and hilarious memes. Perfect for, unwinding after all this market talk.
Definitely worth checking out.
And of course, a huge thank you to all of our amazing listeners for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
We love hearing from you, so keep those comments and questions coming.
We love reading them.
Oh, and speaking of amazing listeners, we got this fantastic 5-star review from Puff.
Awesome.
They said, "Thank you for sharing this knowledge. It's my daily commute essential. So awesome. We love you too, Puff."
Cheers to Puff.
All right, everyone, that's it for today. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly,
stay thirsty.
Cheers.